Check, 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 check.
Hello. Check, check, check.
I like cupcakes.
I like beans. I like beans inside cupcakes.
Disgusting. All right,
I like beans inside cupcakes because I'm English.
And right after Independence Day.
Hey, the UK had an election right on Independence Day.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually wasn't awful.
Poor Rishi.
Yeah. All right, we're ready?
Yep.
Hello, and welcome to another bonus episode of Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. I'm Dave.
And I'm Steve.
We are recording some episodes where we do EPs, just little shorter things. We haven't figured out what we're doing with them yet. Probably be between seasons or something. Maybe YouTube exclusives. Who knows? We'll decide when we get to that.
We're going to put them exclusively on video CD. Not even DVDs. Video CD.
Yeah, you'll have to buy that and buy a player from your thrift shop and.
I think most modern DVD players can play video CD, but
A lot of people don't even have those anymore.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
I actually have Toy Story, like a Chinese version of Toy Story I picked out of a thrift store bin that's on video CD, and it was one of those, like, have you ever gone to a thrift store and you just like pile up a bunch of shit into your basket and they do it by weight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of threw it in there.
Nice. But anyway, today we're going to talk about Gang of Four's 1982 EP, Another Day, Another Dollar. Steve, what do you know about Gang of Four?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, we had that song Anthrax off of that punk compilation.
That's right, yeah.
And then
I think that's about it. I think I remember enjoying that one a lot.
Yeah. Then we had someone in our comments recommend we do Entertainment, which we will do at some point. Entertainment is a great record. But this is their Another Day, Another Dollar EP, which they put out in 82, ahead of their U.S. tour. The same U.S. tour that we talked about a little bit in our Talking Heads episode, because Dave Allen, their bass player, quit, and kind of left them hanging for it. And Busta Jones joined in at the last minute and learned all the songs quickly.
Oh, friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod,
Jones.
Busta Jones, rest in peace.
What kind of music is Gang of Four?
They're post-punk. They're pretty funky post-punk, but that was, when post-punk was largely described as anything that had punk's energy that didn't sound like what punk did by, 1979, 1982 era. This EP that they put out is kind of a the first side is a collection of songs that weren't available in the U.S. ahead of their tour. So it was like an A-side and a B-side of a non-album single, and then the B-side of the album single. And then side 2 are 2 live tracks off their newest album from a show they recorded in Hammersmith Palais in London to get the potential American audience hyped for this band that was about to tour.
Oh, nice. Remind me, where did Gang of Four's name come from?
Well, they were big kind of leftist Marxist type guys, and they were looking a lot at the newspaper a lot, and someone saw a reference in the paper to Gang of Four, which was kind of a faction in China immediately post Mao of people who were close to Mao who were trying to kind of preserve his legacy as opposed to some of the more conservative elements that end up winning out. And the Gang of Four kind of gets scapegoated for Mao's failures, which isn't exactly fair. They were, dang. We're not going to get into Chinese history here because I don't know it as much as I should. But yeah.
And this is supposed to be a bonus episode.
And this is a bonus episode. But yeah, they were named after a Maoist faction that was on its way out in China, basically. They themselves weren't exactly Maoists. They were more in the situationist international style of Western Marxism. But, it is a really good name for a band. Their whole idea, especially this early on, was to make it kind of democratic in the sound and that everything would be mixed equally. So, which is why the guitar is so, kind of high and tinny, so that it can stand with the bass and the vocals and the drums. It's a really cool idea.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it. Also, fun fact, Gene Roddenberry of Star Trek fame was a Maoist.
That makes sense.
All right, let's listen to this. It's like, I get it. I love this chair too.
Yeah, it's for cats though. All right. So that was side one. Yeah, Steve, what'd you think?
I thought this was a really great post-punk release. I've really enjoyed a lot of the post-punk you've been showing me, and this continues that trend by showing me what I think sounds like the beginnings of the dystopian hell that the 80s kind of became, at least, you know, from what I read about, you know, Reaganomics and the Thatcher era and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was just starting at this time, but some people really saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, really. I really like the lyrical themes on all of them, you know, as a working class enjoyer.
I like the way that it took the political and made it personal, like, to a large degree. Like, to hell with poverty, the check will arrive, it's in the post again. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
Some are insane, but they're in charge. Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, before we go through the tracks, I will do the thing we forgot to do. That's just the cover.
Well, it only makes sense for us to forget it during the bonus episodes too. Yeah, let's, so the cover here, we see some dollary-doos and some diamonds and, some pearls, and, this is a loan for promotional use only, and sale is unlawful. And Warner Brothers owns this record, so Warner Brothers, I'm giving you a call after this episode's over, and we're gonna get you your vinyl back.
And there's the price sticker right next to it from the store I bought it at. Yeah,
$14.99.
$14.99.
That's how much it costs to break the law. Then on the back, it's just a map of America, and it looks like it's in Russian.
Yep. They're about to tour America. But yeah, like doing a Russian map of the U.S. is pretty great.
And of course, you know, as we mentioned, 3 songs on side 1. We got To Hell with Poverty, Capital, It Fails Us Now, and History's Bunk. And I relate to all 3 of these songs and their themes.
Yes. Yeah, that's... Like, history, well, let's go through them one at a time. To Hell with Poverty, yeah, it's a mood. It's the strongest song on this side, in my opinion. It was the A-side of a non-album single. I think it's one of the best songs they ever did. Like, if you had me name my top 5 Gang of 4 songs, this would be like 2 or 3.
Yeah, that was a really good song. I really particularly liked the bass playing on that one. I thought that really stood out. And then overall, and this is really true of all of them, but just the level of experimentation that's going on kind of in the background of these songs. Like, there are proper songs on top, but then there's almost like a soundscape behind all of them, and that one particularly had some of that.
Yeah. Andy Gill, casualty of COVID, died in like 2021, 2022. But yeah, he was a motherfucker with, like, guitar feedback. He really knew how to use that to fill out the song, especially with, you know, them focused on remaining a 4-piece, especially at this time. Their later stuff, they eventually add more instrumentation, but this, like, their early stuff, they're really focused on being a 4-piece and having each instrument speak for itself to a large degree. Yeah, get into the lineup a little before we go to the other 2 songs, but it was Dave Allen on bass guitar and vocals, Hugo Burnham on drums and vocals, Andy Gill on guitar and vocals, and John King on vocals. It's not on this record, although it might be on the other side live. John King also played melodica.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
The nerd flute. And did percussion, but yeah.
We should get Dan one of those.
We should.
The next song, Capital, It Fails Us Now,
and
is...
it does, every day.
Yep. I mean, just looking at the lyrics right here, it's like, oh my god, this is my entire life right here.
Yeah. It addresses, like, how everyone's miserable and there's alienation, how, like, you're separated from the product of your own labor. Just, like, yeah, it's I think, like, if you want people to understand the basic tenets of Das Kapital by Marx. You could start them off with this.
Well, and, like, this line especially strikes with me now. This was back in '82, but one day old and I'm living on credit, and that's just. I mean, none of us really like own anything anymore, so it's like, you know, they saw the future.
Yeah.
They predicted the future, and we're listening to it in the future and going, well, shit.
Yeah. We can't say no one saw this coming.
And then, of course, history's bunk.
Yep.
That is a song where you and I have talked about the great person myth before, and I get the impression that song's kind of about that.
Yeah, it's about that. It's not the only song they ever did about that, but it's a good one. Yeah, this one was a little more experimental than the other. Well, all these tracks are experimental, but this one was the most experimental. A lot more of like kind of like that background feedback going on that. But yeah, it was pushed back against the great man theory of history, and like, you know, none of that matters because ordinary people are living their lives and they were having to, you know, like fight and die on behalf of other people. And like, it's important to see things in context, but you know, like we need to look to the future. We are the future.
Yeah, musically, as you said, that was the more experimental one on that. I noticed that it would go in directions that I wouldn't say it wasn't expecting, but this side sounds like a dystopian nightmare. So.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
And that's, you know, really what I love about post-punk overall is they all saw it coming.
Yeah.
They all saw it coming, and now we get to listen back to it.
Yeah, and History's Bunk, that one was the B-side to What We All Want, which we'll hear the live version of on the other side. But that one was, the one promoting an album single. The other two were the A-side and the B-side of a non-album single. So this was them getting their American audience caught up for their upcoming tour. Their first album, Entertainment, was very well received. So is their next album, Solid Gold. And these next two songs are off of Solid Gold. And this was the last thing they ever did with the original lineup. So,
all right. Well, we got side 2, Cheeseburger, which sounds very good right now, and What We All Want. And it looks like it was recorded live at the Hammersmith Palace on March 30th, 1981. So, I'm gonna flip the record.
all right, and we're back. That was side 2. That was 2 live cuts off of their previous studio record at this point, which was Solid Gold. The 2 tracks are Cheeseburger and What We All Want. Steve, what'd you think?
It had both songs had a really high energy that I really liked. I would say both of them had a more typical punk energy to them. Although I would say on both of them, the guitar playing wasn't really all that traditional. It's like they had a very solid rhythm section, and then they had a guitar player that really knew how to make noise with his guitar that wasn't like musical notes.
Yeah, lots of masterful use of feedback, a lot of like hitting a single note, and then letting it ring out, and then doing like a lot of scratching with the pick on the strings and stuff like that.
Yeah, even on What We All Want, I noticed a lot of like percussive playing. The band definitely has what I would say is a very untraditional guitar player.
Yeah, there's a great video that you can see of them playing a song that's off of their first album. No, I think it was a B-side for a single off their first album, and then they re-recorded it and put it on their second. But there's of them just playing a song that's not on this for a movie called Erg, a music war, where you can really see their live dynamic and like high quality like soundboard recording with film cameras and all that. So it's just like a great like movie quality vision of like one song, because that whole documentary only like recorded one song by each band except the Police, which they got like 3 songs by because the Police put that documentary together. But
Yeah.
I mean, they did organize it and like get the filmmakers to go to all these shows. So like I get it. They set that up. But it's really interesting. The song they do for that one is called "They'd Send the Army," and it's like you can really see their dynamics and like how they all play at that point. And I think that particular scene is definitely worth checking out. You see like parts where they're like cutting their instruments out, and Andy Gill, the guitar player, when he's cutting out, he's like still strumming, just moving his hand away from the guitar. So there's like parts where he's playing a part and then he's supposed to cut out, so he just moves his hand away, but he's still like strumming.
Oh. Yeah. Funny. Yeah, going down the track list, Cheeseburger had a really high energy with the guitar playing. Kind of reminded me of grunge in like, I don't know, the Sonic Youth sense, like that end of it. And lyrically, I'm assuming the lyrics were everything's getting so expensive that you can't even afford a cheeseburger anymore. Is that kind of the way they're going about it? Yeah, everything's more expensive. You're working all the time, so you can't afford to cook yourself. You're always behind the truck, the wheel of the company truck. Don't even see your family anymore. They saw the future. Yeah. Reminds me of a lot of the lyrics I work on for my solo project are songs about how bosses just want to work us 110% all the time and don't realize you got to take that 10% from somewhere else. That's not work, Yeah. Overall, the lyrics were definitely hit very close to home. I do better than I used to in my 20s, but there's always that fear that things can go back, or you get the wrong boss, or things like that. So something happens, you don't have as good of a job anymore, and you have to scramble to make ends meet. Mm-hmm. Then what we all want, the guitar playing, as I mentioned, seemed very percussive. I would say even industrial, kind of reminded me of industrial at moments. And of course the bass playing was just solid on that one. Fantastic. Yeah, they're the bass player that they got after Dave left and Busta didn't want to permanently join the band. Sarah Lee is also very good. The bass playing on all their stuff is just all really good. And it really like holds the song down because while the guitar is off doing its own thing a lot, and the drums also hold things down a lot, but like the bass player is like the bass playing is like the most melodic part of the whole thing, really, but it's also very percussive too. Like it's holding down as a rhythm instrument as well as just filling in a lot of what would be empty space with how high the guitar is and how much it's relying on like feedback and weird percussive playing. Yeah, a lot of the bass playing on this I would call it not basic at all, because it's very technical, I guess, would be maybe not technical, but it's very high energy, very energetic, with a lot of notes and fills and whatnot. And I think it's the most musical, as you say, of everything that's going on. It seems like all the other musicians are exploring different territories while the bass, and to a lesser extent the drums, hold it down. Because I know the drums will go off into their own territory as well. Yeah, the bass is what gives you something to latch onto with all the weirdness a lot of the time. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good listen. I really enjoyed the post-punk genre, and this is just yet another great post-punk release that you've put on my radar. And they're label mates with Black Sabbath since they're on Warner Brothers. So. Yeah. Bring it back around to Sabbath. All right. Everything. Yep. Great. This was the Gang of Four, Another Day, Another Dollar EP, and this was side 1, side B with Dave and Steve. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bonusly.
Side 1, Side B is a Floof Goof Studios production. Check us out on the interwebs by going to my website, killrockmusic.com. That's KILRAVOCK music.com. And there's a tab for Side 1, Side B. And additionally, you can check out me and Dave's projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, respectively. You can also check us out on Instagram at KillRockMusicSWS and Dave_Diction. Thank you.
Yeah, never forget.
Disgusting.